Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about all of the books that I've read over the last year. So probably about a year ago, I'm recording this now in April of 2024, and I would say I started reading or picking up reading regularly about a year ago. And when I was younger, like middle school, high school, I definitely loved to read. And always had books around, books that I was reading. And that kind of like went away once I kind of entered college, even like towards the end of high school into college, where there was like more required reading. And I didn't feel like I had a lot of time or energy to pick up books that I was interested in. I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to like do kind of that recreational reading. And so, yeah, about a year ago, I decided to pick up some books, and so today I'm going to be going through all the books that I've read since then. I think I've read probably about 12 books, and from going from like 0 books to 12 books in a year, to me, it's a big deal. And so, yeah, I'm going to share those with you. I don't think I'm going to be rating the books. There's definitely some standout ones that I really loved, and I'll be sure to mention which ones those are. But for the most part, if you want to see a book review on any of these specifically, leave a comment down below and I'll make a video detailing kind of what I loved about the book, what I didn't like about the book, the writing, kind of all of that. So leave a comment down below if any of these jump out to you and you would like me to do a review. So generally, I did purchase, at the beginning, paper books. And so I have a lot of those here with me. And then it kind of got a little expensive after a while. And my husband had actually already had a Kindle Unlimited membership. And so he's like, why don't you just use your Kindle and try to read some of the books that are like offered on there? And I was like, good idea. That would save us some money. And I wanted to try out my Kindle as well, because it's just like such a different format of reading versus like paper, carrying a book around. Everything's just located right on the Kindle, which I love. I have this like cute little case. It's like pretty thin. So yeah, there was about 3 or 4 books that I read on the Kindle. And so I think I'm going to start with those and then jump into all the paper books. So the first one that I read was called The Coworker by Frida McFadden. And overall, I mean, I did like this book. It definitely was one of the favorites of mine. I think it did kind of turn me on to her books and her writing. So that was the first one. And I guess I should say I'm not going to say these in chronological order. I'm just like going to mention the Kindle ones first and then go into the paper ones. So the second Kindle book that I read was called The Spy Coast. And this one was really interesting. I had not read kind of what it says, Spy Coast. So it has to do with like people that are like secret agents. And there's been like a murder and there's different murders that happened. So kind of who did it, who's behind it, all of that. Let me get to the next one. So I'm doing the Kindle ones first. It's like gonna take me a while to like get to the cover page of each book. Cover. Okay, the next one on Kindle was called The Patient's Secret. This one was actually, like pretty interesting, and this was by Lorith Ann White, and I actually had read one of her other books previously that kind of turned me on to this book. But so for this book, it was definitely, all of these are more of like thriller, mystery, murder mystery, things like that. This one was really good. I felt like it kind of kept me engaged in the story throughout. It didn't really, die off or drop off. And let me find the next one. Okay, the next book was also by Lorith Ann White, and it's called The Maid's Diary. So this book was very gripping. The main character is like the one you're basically following her through this like new housekeeping job that she just got, and you're learning details like about the people that live there in the house, and then you're learning kind of a little bit about her background, and just different strange things that are happening. So this one was really, really good. I would say if you're interested in starting off with a book, this one, it can be intense at times, but I would say it was like a very, really good read. And there's others that other books that I started reading that I kind of like didn't finish, so I won't really mention those. Okay, so to get on with all of my paper books, so I actually just finished The Silent Patient by Alex, I think it's Michaelides. And this book was really good. I feel like I felt drawn in from the beginning. I think it was written really well. And yeah, I really enjoyed his writing and the storyline. Like it really, strings you along. You want to get to the end to find out like what happened to this girl, what happened to her husband. And yeah, it's really good. Okay, this next book, I actually really wanted to love it. It's by Agatha Christie. And if you don't know, she's like the queen of mystery. So there's a lot of authors that are compared to her, and that's like such an honor because she's like, such a good writer. And I picked up this book. It's called And Then There Were None. I don't know. It just sounded like really interesting. And again, I like that murder mystery thriller, what's happened, what's going to happen kind of vibe. But I just like started reading this, and I think because it was written so long ago, like the writing style is hard for me to follow. Yeah, this was written in 1939. So I was trying to give it a go, but I don't know, I might pick it up again and try it again, but I think for now I'll let it sit on the bookshelf. The next book, I'm actually currently reading this book now, but it's by Frida McFadden as well, called The Housemaid. It seems kind of similar to The Maid's Diary that I read, but this one I'm basically at the beginning. She basically has applied for this housekeeping job, and then it's also like a live-in kind of nanny job as well, so she'll be living there with a family. So I'm excited to see kind of how that unfolds. And I do like Frida McFadden. I do like her writing, so I'm hoping that one is good. This is another Frida McFadden book. It's called Never Lie. This one was very intense, as in like there's all these different plot twists. It kind of keeps you on the edge. There's also like suspense going through this book. Yeah, this one was really, really good. Actually, now that I'm saying that, yeah. So I'll definitely mention like some stand-up books, and this was like definitely one of the stand-up books. Like if you are wanting to jump into a book, I would also suggest this book. It is, yeah, definitely all the way until the very, very end. It is like plot twists and all the things. So highly recommend. This next book, it's called Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina, I think it is. And I'll be honest, this book was kind of a letdown. I just feel like for like the general plot is these kids go over to their parents' house for, I think it's Easter, and then like the next day or the like 2 days later, their parents are found like murdered in their home. And then it's kind of goes to each one of the three kids, like which one of them did it or who did it and for like what was their motive. So just it felt like a really like juicy, interesting like mystery story, but just kind of like it felt like it just kind of strung me along, and there wasn't I did not like the ending, and yeah, so I don't know, it was just like sort of a letdown. And I actually love another one of her books that I'm going to mention next, but yeah, sort of a letdown. So yeah. The next book was The Unwanted Guest, and this one has been one of my favorites. Just throughout the whole book, you're guessing, who done it. So this one is basically a bunch of different people go to a like a hotel, and they are all there for different reasons. Someone's on their honeymoon, someone's writing a book. There is an older couple there, kind of on the verge of divorce. And there's a few other parties there as well. And then you have like the hotel keeper, or owner, keeper, owner. And then you have like his son who's running like the front desk and does, I think, some of the kitchen stuff. He's also like a cook. And basically they all go and there's this huge storm that like rolls in and they end up all getting stuck there, stranded at this hotel. And it's a really old hotel and in the middle of nowhere. And so they're all like snowed in with no electricity, all the things. And so basically one by one, people start to get murdered. So you have to, so as you're reading, you're kind of trying to guess like who it is, and then what their motive might be. And there is like some interesting like connections between some of the guests there. So this one was like one of my favorites, that I've read, but it's kind of hard because like there's a lot of the books that I've read that I really loved, but this one was just really good in the way that there was like suspense. And then you're trying to guess like all the way to the end, like who did this and what was their motive. So really good. This next book is by Alice Feeney and it's Rock, Paper, Scissors. I'll say at the beginning, it was kind of hard for me to like get, kind of like into the storyline. It's about this married couple and the wife, at work, like wins this free trip to, it's kind of like the middle of nowhere in wintertime. This like old cabin that was like a church actually previously. And so they just get there and like all these things like start going wrong. And like creepy stuff's happening. So you kind of think like, is it paranormal stuff? Is there someone else there? Like what's happening? So I feel like kind of as I got into it, I feel like it drew me in a little bit more and kind of keeps you guessing like all the way to the end. And I would say like the end was definitely like a huge like plot twist as well. So this was also a good one if you are interested in trying out these books. This next book was also by Alice Feeney, Daisy Darker. Okay, this book also is very, very good. And I don't know if I just love this genre, so maybe I just love all these books. But I really love this book. It was so good. I feel like so it's basically about like this family. So you have like the mom, dad. I think there's like the two sisters and then a brother. And then you have a grandma. And the grandma lives like right on like the coast. And I forget like what location it is, but she's like right on like the rocky coast where there's like the ocean, all the things. So all the family like comes over and they're all it's a very dysfunctional family. They all come over to her house and then there's like this huge storm that kind of comes and the tide rises to the point where they like can't get back to where their cars and everything are, because you can only access the house like on foot. And then while they're there, again, one by one, people are getting murdered and you kind of start guessing like, okay, which one of you done it? And it's just like a super interesting story. I feel like it's very, very creative and really gets you questioning like, okay, is this paranormal? Is there something, or is this like totally explainable? And then again, all the characters have, different tiffs with each other. And so it kind of, again, keeps you guessing of like, who is it? And why is this going on? So yeah, super, super interesting. Again, if you want to try this genre, I would really suggest this book as well. So, all right. So now we're getting down to my last 3 books. And the author is Lucy. I just looked up her name. Foley? Lucy Foley. And so this one's called The Paris Apartment. And so this one was really good. This was actually one of the first books that I read in this genre at all. So this is like one of the very first books. And I really loved it. I feel like kind of towards the end of the book, it turned more like sinister and like more like a sad situation. So yeah, but overall, I think the book was really good. It's basically this brother or this guy, and he lives in Paris, and his sister who's just, her life's been like up and down. She contacts him and basically says like, hey, I need your help. I need to like stay with you. And so she like goes to his apartment, but then when she gets there, he doesn't answer and he's like missing. And so then she tries to like get the help of some other people that live in the apartment, but it's just like a very exclusive apartment and no one wants to let her in and no one wants to like help her. So yeah, it's super interesting. And then so she has to kind of go and like fight to find out like what happened to her brother. She gets to know everyone that lives in the apartment. She even enlists the help of, I think he's like a reporter or a writer. And so, or maybe a journalist. And so he starts to help her as well to kind of uncover what's been going on, where's her brother, all the things. So yes, very interesting. All right, 2 more. The next one again is by Lucy Foley, and it's The Guest List. This one was a little bit hard to get into at the beginning, but it's basically this engaged couple goes to like a remote island, and they're wanting to have like their wedding there, and so it's going to be like a really like tight guest list. They have a couple of their like friends. They're coming to be a part of the bridal party. And there's like this huge storm that also is like coming in. So they get married and then like the night of their wedding, like things just start to happen. And again, there is like some tiffs between some of the people, like the married couple and some of their guests. And so, yeah, it's just basically stuff starts happening and you have to figure out, who's kind of behind this or why is this happening or what's next. And yeah, so that's what I kind of love about this genre of like murder mystery and all that is just you have to like keep guessing, and it almost kind of makes you kind of get a little bit creative about the situation and try to figure out like, okay, like how could this happen? Who was there, and kind of try to remember all the character details that the author has previously shared and kind of come up to your own conclusion. So yeah, I really this book was pretty good. I think the beginning is a little hard for me to get into, but overall I thought it was like a good story. Okay, this is the last one, also by Lucy Foley, and this is The Hunting Party. This one was pretty good. It's basically a group of like friends, and they're going out to this remote cabin. It's like this annual New Year's thing they do every year. And so they go out to this remote cabin, and it's kind of already been snowing quite a bit. And so it's like troublesome to get out there. But then once they're there, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to like get back out into the city. So while they're all there, strange things kind of happen. It actually opens up with like there's a dead body and doesn't say who it is. And so the whole time in the book, you're guessing like, and again, there's like tiffs between all the friends that are there. And so then you kind of know there's somebody already dead. And so you're trying to guess like, okay, which one of these people are going to die and why and how and all the things. So yeah, super interesting book. Definitely lots of plot twists and kind of keeps you going till the end. All right, so those are all the books that I've read in the last year. I do intend to keep on reading from this genre. I really enjoy it. So if you have any book recommendations that are like murder mystery or thrillers that you would like to leave below, feel free to leave that in the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!